Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hear me, hear me. What's up? I am live. Waiting for this thing to refresh and see what you guys can see me. I can mute this audio. All right, there we go. I think I'm good. I think I'm live. And say what's up in the live chat. Give you a nice shout out if you're there. And we can talk some Ross sneaker tips today. What's up, Zeke Morris and Gabriel? Ben's Vlogs, Danny Ryder. What's up? And looks like we're getting people in to the live chat. So before we start with this video, top 10 raw sneaker tips to check before you pay, which some are going to be kind of obvious and some are going to be things you probably haven't thought of or maybe kind of ignore. Sometimes we get lazy out there searching for stuff. So we're going to be talking about that. What's up, Zach, Morgan? Let's see, Gem356. What's up? So we have people coming in, and you can say what's up to me in the live chat. Give you a quick shout out before we start. Also on the Ross sneaker tips. What are the last two videos we did before the last live video? And I'm trying to go back to those. So Ross finds of the week last Friday was a good one. Supreme, the North Face collab t-shirt. So let me know what you think about that in the live chat. I haven't been able to talk to everybody since then, but I can guarantee you, or at least tell you a little bit, I got a lot of emails and DMs since that Instagram post and video came out at the same time. Even a lot of people were like, there's no way that was there. And I know, I totally get it if you didn't believe it too, because even I was like super shocked when I saw that. So I was like, man, this is crazy. After that, I did finally got to merch by Amazon. I did finally got to do the updates on my sales, which I was like super behind on. So finally caught up on that. And then next week, we have a pretty good sneaker haul video coming out on Monday, and then Ross finds of the week, of course, every single Friday. So Miguel, what's up? Let's see. Techno Tech, Gabriel is here. Supreme still kind of I know, terms of hype and style. So Supreme has been around for a long time. The only thing is right now it's just like super hyped up. So I did sell the shirt. I did get best offer $115. So no complaints there. Some of them have been selling for, I saw some selling for like 85. That was really, really low. Another one sold for 100. So 115, 125 is what I had it listed at. I was hoping to just get a buy it now, but for $115, I mean, there's no way you're going to let that go, especially if you just sell the t-shirt already. So that was a really good sell, good profit there for that t-shirt. Zach, yeah, Supreme is probably number one hype brand right now. Cookie Destroyer says, what's up? Hi, how's your day? Pretty good. Doing this live video, and Casey Snipes 80 is here. Glenn the man. So always good to hear from you. In the live chat, and a lot of stuff to get to today as far as the top 10 raw sneaker tips. And I think also the last, live video, we were there for like an hour and a half. So this one, we got to make sure we're at least like a good hour, because the one was super, super long. So let's start off with, like I said, some of these are really going to be obvious. Some aren't, but at least I can tell you about my experiences with all 10 of these, starting off from the very beginning, trying to get stuff from Ross and resell. You learn as you go, a lot of trial and error as it happens, and years doing it. It's not like I just randomly started just finding a bunch of stuff and selling a bunch of stuff and making a bunch of money That didn't happen. You learn as you go. Gabriel says, anything from Plato's Closet recently? I went. When did I go? I think on Monday I went. Didn't really find anything then. I'll probably go again sometime this week. All right. So the first thing is, if you find a pair of shoes that you do want to pick up to sell, you did your research, everything, always check the shoe laces to make sure they're not torn, dirty, or just straight up like thread hanging off of them. Because this has happened too, where like you might even watch the worker as they're scanning it out. They have like the little sensor. I don't know what that thing is, but they have to always like pull that thing out of like the little lace sneaker holes. And when they do that, one time it happened where the worker did that. They pulled it off way too hard and it ripped off one of the laces. So that was the end of that one for one pair that I was really looking forward to getting. They did that, and then the thing tore. So the laces tore off. You don't want to buy shoes, end up buying new laces to replace them. Exactly what you don't want. Another pair that I think I showed on one of the Ross videos, especially with white laces, they get dirty super quick. And the find was going to be decent, but then you got to find replacement laces for them. And not only that, if the lace tips are totally different, then you're going to have to find a replacement for them. You're going to go through a bunch of work that you don't really need. And this stuff happens because people just throw stuff all over the place at Ross. So you find stuff all over the floor. So check that stuff too and watch it while they're scanning it and ringing you out, that they don't tear it. Because some of those people on the register, they struggle with the sensors, and I've seen it happen with me before. TJ Towns, yeah, it's a Snowball Mike. And Morgan Hill, thumbs up. Cookie Destroyer, how can I find Jordan's retro for less than retail? Probably going to be the outlets first. And then Ben's Vlog says true. All right, so the second thing is, this has happened, I think, probably to most of us. If you find a certain pair that you like that is selling pretty good, every single store that you go to, Ross store that you go to after that, make sure you check the price on all of them. For some weird reason, every Ross store has different prices. I don't know why they're not consistent, but like one of the examples was LeBron 13s, which I think a lot of people have been seeing those for like $79.99. It's like pretty high too. Like I wouldn't pick them up for that price. So $79.99. Recently, I found one at my Ross for $39.99. I've never seen it that low. And then when I went to the other Ross by the freeway, which I go to quite often, they had the exact same shoe, $59.99. That's three totally different prices for the same shoe. Why does that happen? I have no clue. But in your mind, if you're thinking, hey, I found these LeBron 13s, they were $79.99, then you may not check it at another store because you're kind of already assuming that they're $79.99. And sometimes the tag is like hidden. Sometimes they don't have a tag. You have to look at the bottoms. So if this happens, you might just kind of ignore it, thinking that it's already overpriced, already at $79. You skip it, but it might be $39.99 or lower or something. So just double check that stuff. And because it's happened before too, I'm like, I already saw those. They're overpriced. I know to skip them. And then sure enough, they actually were a lower price. Like I have no clue why that happens, but always double check for that stuff. All right, back to the chat. What's up, Derek? Love these later live show feeds. I can get with this. Yeah, so I mixed it up. Went a little bit later today at 7 my time rather than like 5. So hopefully that helps a little bit more people out being later on. Let's see. When do you guys get your shipments? So Matthew says he works at Ross. And Matthew says Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday. It takes a while to process everything to put on the sales floor. Alphabet Soup says, doesn't have to do with Ross. What do you think of the best casual shoes like the Hirachis? Um, that's gonna be tough too, I guess, to answer because you just never know what Ross is gonna have. They could even have like just different brands you're not really thinking of. You've seen a lot of like Brooks shoes lately too, Sakani shoes, different brands. It really just depends what they have. That's probably some of the examples I would tell you. It's just staying away from just the obvious of the typical things you've always seen over and over in like KD8s. How long does it take for a shoe to sell after you list it on eBay? Totally depends on the shoes. I'm gonna get into that on the haul that I picked up from DD's Discounts. That will be on Monday, and that didn't take very long to sell, but totally depends on the shoes. Those LeBrons have been sitting forever. Hopefully they go in clearance, price drop soon. Yeah, for sure. I think those are gonna see go down in price because they're just way too high. No one's picking those up right now, especially for $79. All right, so the third thing to check, and this has happened to me, I'm probably ashamed to admit, at least 2 or 3 times that I could really think of. Check inside the tag, not only for the B grade stamp, because let's say it doesn't say irregular, like this tag doesn't say irregular. If it does say irregular, double check the B grade stamp anyway. If it doesn't have a B grade stamp, then you might be in the clear and maybe they just mispriced it. If it doesn't say B grade, check it anyway because you want to make sure that you're not buying B grades for the full Ross price that they have them. If you are spending $69, $79, $89 for those higher price ones, let's say a Kobe 9 Elite or a Kobe 10 Elite, make sure you're not buying B grades. And the thing is too, even if you do know that they are B grades and you do buy them knowing they're B grades, also look around the shoe. I've noticed that sometimes they get a little crazy with the B grade stamp, blue stamp, red stamp, to where like they're all over the inside of the tongue too. And so that's going to be kind of a problem because that's going to be hard to get off, even if you can remove that. But when you do sell it to the customer, they're going to be like, what the hell's this? If you didn't expect it to be B grades, or even if you did tell them it's going to be B grades and it's all over the place, they might get kind of mad from that and seeing that that ink is all over the inside of the tongue. So that's happened before. And I even know there's like a guy that emailed me too. He actually skipped a pretty good find because of that. Like the ink was all over the place on the inside tongue. I don't know what happened, but sometimes they get crazy with that stamp. So I would look out for that just to make sure you're good and make sure it's not over the place because you're gonna have to explain all of that stuff too onto the description on eBay. You don't want to go through all that. What's your ROI cutoff? 40%. Is it rare to find retro Jordan at Ross or Marshalls or Burlington? Probably Burlington's going to be rare or harder to find. Ross, retros too. I mean, you're probably going to find more of the cleats, at least that we've seen lately. Let's see. Matthew says probably like 3 to 4 midday going to Ross. I think that's a pretty good time too if you're going like around lunchtime. Noon, I think. Like during the day is also just random too because you're not going to have a lot of people compared to Saturday and Sunday. So noon, exactly 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I think those are good times during the week. Quick Flipper says, do you ever return unsold shoes to the store you purchased them from? I don't, at least I haven't in a long time. I think I did maybe in the very beginning. A bad buy is a bad buy and it happens. And if you get used to like, returning shoes over and over again, they are going to pick up on that. Working at Ross and all that, if you keep going consistently, I would just try to make better purchases, doing better research. But bad buys do happen. Let me go back up. Let's see. What are some of the easiest shoes for you to make money off of at Ross? Well, that's kind of like a generic question because you make money off of pretty much a lot of the Nike shoes, whether it's Hirachis or looking at different Kobe's, random Jordan finds. Cleats sell good, whether they're soccer cleats, even some of the football ones that are like super cheap. Um, I mean, a lot of that stuff. Let me see. What's up, Robo Vintage? What's up? Grinding here in Indiana. I watch most of your stuff. Can't get enough. Nice. Appreciate you here in the chat. Let's see. Matthew says every Ross gets shipments on the same day, but not every Ross gets trucks at the same time. That's crazy too. They just it's totally random when they get trucks. Alexander says found some Kobe 10 fundamentals B grade, still picked up for 49 for myself. It's a pretty good find, $50. David, what's up? Oswaldo, what's up? Guys 2900 just came in. Let's see. Jam, I tried to erase B grade stamp on some Spizikes and almost ended up erasing the whole jump, man. So to be careful erasing that stamp. That can also happen with the price stuff at the very bottom, which we're also going to talk about on one of these top 10 shoe tips. Were the Jordan 6 varsities the only retro J's you've ever found at a normal size at Ross? I also found the Olympic sixes. Those were, I think, were a size 10. And then I also found the black toe ones, and those were like a 6 in youth. So those are pretty good sizes. Let me see. TJ Towns, Saint, love your content. Keep it going. Nice. Elon, what's up? Let's see. David Anthony, is it easy to find good shoes at Burlington and Marshalls? Depends on your area, and right now it's been tougher for me in my area. Let's see. Osvaldo, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And Zico Tops was the best day you would say for to go to Ross and find the best deals. Always during the week, mostly Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I found those days to be really good, except for some random reason. One of the Rosses got a truck in on Saturday and they put out stuff on Saturdays. So that's the thing too. Like that's like the random stuff you never know. But during the week, they are very consistent. They have to put out new shoes, new clothing, things like that. But that random Saturday was like crazy. Narish says, hello, bruh. What's up? And guys, 2900. Latest find was Mellow 11. 3M collab, $44 at Ross. Nice. Mario. What's up, bro? Miami in the house. Fernando, shout me out. What's up? And let's see, man, where are you? Quick flipper. Ever notice one shoe on eBay? Yes, I have noticed those on eBay, which that's really, really random. Let's see. What's the video called when you found the sixes? I don't know if it's on there from super, super old, but you can do top 5 Jordan finds at Ross. That was probably the most recent one. You could see it. All right, so back to the countdown. Number 4. Now, this one has happened quite a bit of times too. If maybe if your Ross actually has quite a bit of inventory, but if they do have quite a bit of inventory, you'll see in the very bottom, actually Burlington does this a lot too. In the very bottom of the racks, they will kind of like stack shoes together. Like there's one pair like this, another one over it, and then another one over it. They'll do this for a lot of the youth shoes too. And like that third pair gets stuck behind everything else. So a lot of people don't check that stuff because you're just going over and scanning the racks very quickly. You're not looking at like those second or third shoes that are kind of like stacked behind. If you ignore those, there might be something good behind there. And that's what always happens too with like random finds. Like Air Max 2015s will be hiding back there, which you'll notice from the big air bubble unit, but people have them hiding with other shoes stacked over it. Don't skip those stacked shoes. Go through it. Make sure it's you can go through them and see what else is on there. You don't want to just skip through those. Some people I know do get a little lazy. I don't really want to go through them, whatever. Some people are even lazy enough to like not even like bend down to check to see what's down there. and they hide. It happens. So go through those. Let's see. Oh, finally, some Kobe 10s. Those orange ones finally sold $90, which that never that should have been sitting there for a long time. So glad that sold. Let's see. Let me go back to the chat. You ever see a different price on the tag from the bottom of the shoe? I took the tag off because the bottom of the shoe was cheaper. That's hilarious. And yeah, that has happened before too. Rarely it maybe happened like once or twice. But yeah, you can check the bottom of the shoe for the price to make sure they match with the tag, because that's happened before a couple of times. DJ Bells, what camera do you use? This one's just like my web camera, just for the live show. But I did buy a Canon G7X, which I used for the vlogging. Let's see. Let me go back up. Oswaldo with a bunch of highs. What's up? And found LeBron 12 Independence for 44 downtown. 44.99 is a pretty good deal. Are they men's? That's a men's shoe. That's a pretty good deal. You could probably sell those at least for 100, 110, maybe even 120. Why don't you list more products in your store? It's very tactic to keep only some very selective items. Morgan, trying to answer your question for like the eBay store. Are you talking about, or just when I used to do it for the website? Because the website, it's been super hard to catch up on. So I kind of like took off that link because it was tough to like keep track of going back and forth. Let's see, Denny Ryder, I got Prada purse and Coach purse at a yard sale, holding off until I make sure they are authentic. How can I know if they are real? The Coach ones, I know you can type in the numbers from the inside. Prada purse, I'm not too sure about that. Coach purses, me and my friend used to always find those at the garage sales, and we used to just look them up right then and there to make sure that it was legit from the inside serial number. You might be even able to do that on their website, but we used to just do it off Google search and eBay search. Have you ever gotten scammed on eBay? It's probably been a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's happened, and when it does happen, you take a loss for the business. But if you're consistently making money every month, then things like this are going to happen. You're putting yourself in the position to sell and to make money, and when that happens, returns are going to happen, or maybe a scam will happen once in a while. But that's just part of the game when you're trying to make money. Cho Beast Mario shirt, thanks, appreciate it. Narish, shout out please. I think we did as soon as you came in, so what's up? Shout out to you. Morgan Hill, yes, eBay. When it comes to listing just more items on eBay, I'm just trying to like catch up. I did find a lot of the stuff lately from like Family Thrift Center. So what I like to do is like at the end of the week, I'll wash everything all at once, and then I list everything all at once. So it's kind of rare during the week if I like list random stuff, mostly because I am trying to do a lot of the merch by Amazon stuff. So a lot of my stuff I kind of try to list on the weekends when I can wash everything all at one time. And let's see, Gabriel, my dad and I are actually trying to start reselling things. We got duped on our first attempt. I wonder what were you trying to sell, Gabe? Let me know. How do I get more views on eBay? Because I have items worth quite a bit, but they are hardly getting any views. I'd probably say it has something to do with maybe your feedback. If it's really low or you're a new seller, people often look at that stuff too. If your pictures are very low quality, even if you're using like I don't know, like stock photos too from other people, that also happens. And then I'd also just make sure your titles and your keywords and your description is full of as best info as possible. Make sure you're not skipping over anything detailed. That would also help you. Number 5, let's see. All right, so number 5 was almost what we just talked about with the very bottom of the shoe. So you want to check the sizing on not only the Ross tag, which is here, which sometimes they put it on there, as you can see here, size 11.5. You want to check the raw size tag. You want to check the inside tag, make sure those match. And then you want to check, which a lot of the shoes have this random colored circle size thing. I've noticed that this circle tag thing is usually like on the inside of the shoe. You'll usually see it there, but I've noticed that sometimes that one doesn't even match what the actual inside tag is. So there's a possibility of having like 3 different sizes on there, and this could affect you too if you're doing your research trying to see like, well, how many people are selling this particular shoe in a size 9.5, and then sure enough you pick up this shoe thinking it's a 9.5 when it's really a 9, because you didn't check what that inside tag was. You were going off of maybe this tag or these colored ones, and those will creep up to you and get to you after you did your research in the store. So always double check all 3 of those sizes. They might all be random. I don't know why, but they're probably just trying to get a lot of this product out as quick as possible. So that could get mixed up in there. So Gabriel says it was a Mitchell and Ness Joe Montana Chief jersey. It looked real for $15. It was actually fake. So yeah, that could happen too, especially with the Mitchell and Ness jerseys. I think I had somebody email me recently on a Mitchell and Ness. It was a Larry Bird jersey and a Jordan jersey, and they were both fake. I think this dude was going to do a trade. Feel free to email me anytime if you think that you have fake jerseys. I actually know more jerseys than I do shoes. So you can email me, hustlerhacks1@gmail.com, if you think you might have fake jerseys or something. I could definitely help you out, at least on that. Let me see. Man, trying to go back up. I think I lost Danny. You go to Nike outlet stores a lot. Find some killer buys at 20% off plus a 30% off. Ask the employees for retro Air Max. They had a guy bring me like 10 pairs of kicks for the cheap. That's a pretty nice little find there. So it's a nice, good update. Even though I think some of the outlets, like, they have a certain limit on how many I guess shoes you can buy, especially of a certain pair. I think they limited me to like 3 one time. So I gotta check that. How do you research jerseys? That one's kind of tough. I mean, because you're gonna have to check a lot of completed listings, but it really just comes from like collecting jerseys. I just know knowledge from collecting it like over time. Then I could just tell you right off the bat, like, if it's fake or not. I think that was there you go, Danny. He said he had the jerseys. Slice work in the house, and Jose is in the house. What's up, guys? Good to see you in the chat. How do you get customers to leave you feedback? I know there's a lot of customers won't. As long as you're leaving them feedback, I would leave them feedback as soon as. See, that is the tough part when it comes to the feedback, right? Because I usually don't leave feedback until they leave me feedback, because I don't want to leave them feedback and then they come back at like, dude, these shoes sucked. I didn't like them, and give me a negative. So I would probably say is to get your feedback up, at least, is to like buy stuff, like not shoes, but buy cards, like basketball cards, things that are cheap, like $1, free shipping, super, super cheap things that you're not risking a whole lot of money. And then they will probably leave you positive feedback as a buyer, since you just bought from them. Usually those dudes, they'll leave like positive feedback right away, even though you haven't gotten the item yet, but they're so cheap, but yet it does make your feedback look better. So I would do that. Lewis Butler, what's up? Fernando, Messi. I like Messi better. Answer your question. Morgan Hill, Glenn, do you know an online tool or app for online stock alerts? When the inventory goes to the store, just stores like Ross or Marshalls. I don't know anything like that. Ross and Marshalls are very like weird because they do get random items from liquidation from Nike and other other retailers and stuff. So they're kind of random. You don't know what they're going to get, but it kind of helps like I guess is what you like about the thrill of it, right? Is you never know what they're gonna have. Um, but compared to stores like Target and Walmart, things like that, you already know what they're going to have. So that's why they're able to keep track of it online. Ross and Marshalls are so random. Burlington, DD's Discounts, TJ Maxx that they're not, you don't even know what they're going to get. I think sometimes they don't even know what they're going to get. They just get random things. So it's very, very tough to keep track, especially in those stores. Let me see. Let me go back up. Thanks for getting back to me with the emails. No problem. That was Danny. Um, Left a good feedback once, and the person wanted a return later, even though my listing said no returns. They threatened to report me, and that just comes with like the eBay policy. Like, um, they want you to they want you to have 100% returns to anybody. So even if you have no returns, eBay's still gonna have to have you return it. So that's you might as well just put returns accepted. Let's see. Ben's Vlogs ever gave out your eBay username out on YouTube? Yes, I have. I'll give it to you again if you want it. And on Monday you'll see it too, because I'm gonna go through completed listings, a couple of stuff that I sold. So there it is on eBay. It is not Hustler Hacks, if you wanted to know that, because I started selling on eBay way before I started the channel. And I didn't change it or anything; just kept it the same. What age did you start to buy a lot of shoes? I don't think I started getting serious about selling shoes until probably like 6 or 7 years ago is when I really got serious about reselling stuff. Let me see. I noticed that if you send your eBay listing to your phone via text message and you click on the link, you gain 2 views to your listing every time you click the link. Can eBay ban you for this? Nah, I don't think they'll ban you for that. You can send that to pretty much anybody too. It wouldn't have like a strike or anything against you. My local Ross is dry as hell since you people are finding Supreme things. Yeah, I don't. That was like a one-time deal. I really doubt it. I'll find another one. It was a size small. Someone else told me they found an XL. I was only, and then the come up, which is who sent me the original one. He found also a size small in men's. So those are the only three. Only three people at least that I know of that have found it, and only 2 sizes: an XL and a small. All right, next one. Let's see. All right, so the next tip would be it's just going through all the sections in general. I know you're probably going to go to the men's section first to check out the men's, of course, like sneakers and stuff, because more than likely you're going to make more money from those. But scan, even if you just briefly walk through it, just to check the kids section and the women's section, no matter what. I don't care if you look like a creeper going through the women's section. Go through both because number one, there's probably someone might be hiding something there if they didn't want to wait in line, which you saw one of my cleat videos where I didn't even want to wait in line and I had to I hit them in that like bedding section. But someone could be hiding something in like the women's or kids sections that maybe that's their particular hiding space. Pick it up, you never know. Second, um, people also ignore those sections because either they're just kind of like too lazy, they're in a rush, they don't want to go through them. And going through the men's section, more than likely you will find better stuff. Like more than likely you'll see those racks are empty compared to like the women's section. The women's section's always packed with something. Like I never see the women's section shoes at Ross empty. I've only seen it with like men's and partially like the youth shoes. You'll see some empty racks, but women's section, they always have product there. Definitely just at least scan through it before leaving. Don't just ignore it thinking that, well, nothing is there. Go through it. You might find something. Let's see. Let me go back up. Man. Let's see. Morgan Hill full of random. You're right. Appreciate that. I'm getting $20 to $60 a month from Marshalls and rewards for using their credit card. That's true. You can use their credit card. I think it works also for TJ Maxx stuff too. Let me see. Man, where am I? Okay, here we are. How long do you think that Supreme shirt was sitting before you got it? Man, I have no clue. Cause I think I went to that Ross like 2 days before and I didn't see it there. So it might have just ended up being that day or the day before that they got it. Because I didn't see that shirt 2 days before that I went. Seriously, check everything because I found some Nike glove retail $100 for only $30 at Ross. Have an offer right now for $75 and they pay shipping. So there we go. That's a pretty good. That's a nice, especially if they paying for shipping too. How do you suggest get in touch with my local reseller community? I live in Atlanta. I know they're here. I just want friends to go yard selling, thrifting with young, cool people. Any suggestions? That is also tough because, man, well, you says you know they're here. You might want to just contact them in person if you do see them at like thrift stores or something, to see maybe you could just kind of build a relationship that way. If you try to meet up or talk to people locally, like through Facebook or other YouTubers. The thing is like not everybody is that cool when it comes to like other resellers because, and this happened too. Like I got booted from like Facebook group too because people had seen my videos and stuff, but instead of just trying to be cool and hanging out or whatever, because I'll meet whoever, I got booted because they already knew that I was their competition. They didn't see me as like some type of hustler ripping people off. Like they didn't see me that way. They just saw me as someone competing with them because they go to the same places that I do. And so they didn't want me selling there. So they booted me off. So that's kind of tough too when you're trying to like approach people because not everybody is cool with it. Um, let me see. Where should I look for the North Face Supreme shirt? And that's just gonna be in the like sportswear men's t-shirts. They have kind of like North Face, Adidas, Nike, all of those t-shirts on one or two racks. That's where you're gonna want to look. Not in any of the dressy shirts or none of that, because they also have like certain shirts that are kind of like Young and Reckless or Huff or things like that. They're not gonna be in those. At least what I checked, they weren't in those. Let me see. I found LeBron James shoes in their jersey for $25 a piece. DJ says thanks, dude. Danny Ryder haters. A relic picker, what's up? And let's see what people want changes so fast in athletics. I'm having a hard time learning what to look for. Any suggestions on what I should do to educate myself and stay current? That would be just kind of keeping up with like Instagram, because Instagram, especially if you keep up with a lot of these people that look for stuff, Ross and Marshalls and a lot of the resellers, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff and maybe even brands that you never even heard of, that they found at thrift stores and at Ross or Marshalls. Instagram is probably the best way to keep track of that stuff. No luck with Supreme in Houston. Yeah, that's going to be tough too. Um, more popular it is going to be harder to find. Not only that, I don't even know if I'm pretty sure it was rare to find anyway. When do you have to start considering taxes? Mine seem to be increasing like 300 a month. I don't know if I should do taxes or not. This is your first like major year reselling. I wouldn't worry about taxes until you've at least completed like this full year. eBay, PayPal, they're going to send you the 1099 anyway at the very end of the year. Just make sure you have money put away to pay taxes, especially if you are making pretty good money reselling. But I wouldn't worry about that until the next year. Now with Merch by Amazon, I'm doing my taxes like every 2 to 3 months. So that changed for me because now I have to keep putting in money. But I wouldn't worry about that yet when it comes to the taxes. All right, next one. Let's see. This also goes back to like that bottom, the very bottom rack. We talked about how like shoes were stacked. This is totally different. If you notice, most of the Ross stores, they have a clearance rack at the very bottom, and it has like a red strip, and it says clearance on there. Very bottom, red strip. In between there, which a lot of people don't check too, because they're kind of hidden, especially if it's like the 6th rack down or something. Always check those bottom clearance racks, because even if those huge cleats that are like size 17 or 18, they might be in there. Don't skip those either, because they might have gotten down to like super clearance to like $5. The very, I think, low, like the lowest price shoe I've ever found at Ross was 99 cents. And that was because it was on like super clearance. That shoe had been sitting there for a long time. I think a lot of people also just kind of ignored it too. And so it was there, bottom clearance rack, $1, well, 99 cents. Another one that I did find, Nike cleats, Patriots cleats. They were $4.99. I mean, this is like bottom clearance stuff, right? That people ignore, even though they were a huge size and they were size 16, I think. They still sold for like $40. I mean, that's still easy money to make, even after fees, whatever. But a lot of people ignore that stuff. Super clearance items and those huge ass sizes that are like 16, 17, 18. Always look for that stuff. If you can get them super cheap like that, $1 to $5, I mean, you're definitely gonna still make some easy money, even if they did sit for a while. It's a very low risk. Let's see. When I'm gonna make another video, but when you go buy shoes, that will be on Monday. I have like a shoe, like a small shoe haul from one of the stores. You'll see that. All right, we're talking about that one. Let's see. All right, we got 3 left. Number 8. You gotta check the carts in the very front of the store at Ross. They're going to be like carts, and they're also going to be like those metal parts to where they have like shirts and other people just throw them in there. They're considered like putbacks. The employees are going to have to put all of that stuff back eventually, probably late at night or whatever. Sometimes in those little racks and carts, they have shoes that people had on hold that they never went back for. Usually, if it's something on hold, it's probably going to be something good. And that's where I found those Victor Cruz Nikes. They were on there. And I don't even know why. I should have just banned this dude a long time ago. But that's where I found those shoes. And that's the case. You just keep on looking on those side parts, because someone is going to have something in there that they're trying to hide, or just putbacks in general that they got lost. So I would always look at those carts in the very front, or those like metal cart things for all the putbacks. Something good might be in there. You can check that out before you leave too, because they always have them in the very front. All right, let me see. I think something got stuck here. There you go. All right. All right, so 2 left. And this one, we'd also talked about that. Let's see. All right, check the bottoms. So the bottoms, we talked about this a little bit before, how like the bottoms might not match the actual price, but this is something totally different. Check the bottom of the shoes, because people have struggled with this a lot. Sometimes these dudes that put the price on the bottom, they go crazy with like permanent marker, super huge, all over the shoe on the bottom, that it's going to be extremely tough to get out. I actually passed on like a pretty good pair, because I knew that there was just going to be no way to like get this out. Like, it was just way too many, or too much writing on the very bottom of the shoe. It was going to be extremely tough. The better ones to get, of course, are like the small silver writing. Those are easy to get out. The Gugan, we talked about that before. But when some of these are just writing all over, like a huge $60 price on it, that's going to be super tough. Black permanent marker, it's going to be really, really tough. And if you want to deal with some of them are worth getting because you can get it off, but the ones that don't, you're kind of stuck with them. And you're like, crap, like, how am I going to do this as far as like reselling them on eBay? Let's see. My name is Mr. Swifty. What's up? Zach, are those carts usually behind the counter? Uh, they're kind of like in like the seating area where people sit and wait. They're kind of like in there. Sometimes you will see them like very like near the counter, like an open area. And sometimes they're just right by the other carts. I guess it just depends on what store and how big that store is, but they're always somewhere in the front area. DJ Bell says magic erasers work very well. And yeah, that's true too. I mean, those do work good too. Sometimes you might come into that, part where just something just doesn't come off if it's really, really huge, or they went over it a couple of times too, which is weird too. Like, why would you keep going over it with the price? Like, especially if it already has like the price tag. I mean, shouldn't be anything confusing there, but sometimes they do that. Jam says, go through the shoes a second time before you leave. Sometimes you catch stuff you didn't see the first time. And that's true too, because it's very easy to overlook something, especially if they have, racks full of stuff and you're kind of like, all right, cool, going through it. Yeah, you could totally ignore something, go back again, double check before you leave. And also when you double check, they might actually be putting away those putbacks, which that's happened sometimes too. Or a customer goes back and puts something away so you didn't see that before because you just walked in and checked it. So that's happened too before. Or Danny says if it has like 60 in the bottom with a marker, the beginning makes it 160. I did that with some Nikes. That's kind of funny. Yeah, you can do that too, I guess, to go back with the price tag. Let's see. Let's just say they're when he scored 60. That's funny. Casey Snipes with the marker stuff. Congress Seller, I've been lucky with nail polish and fabric sheets so far, but my magic eraser falls to pieces. That could happen too. One of the best days and hours you recommend to visit Ross when they fill the racks, or is also something random. And that is also something random because we talked about during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday seem to be like the better days to go, especially like midday, 12, 2, 3, good times. But last week, the Ross I went to got a shipment on Saturday. So it's like, dude, like what happened there? So they just, and it's totally random too. So let me see. Son John says hi. Scene says hi. Sign says hi. Sorry, always happens too with the name. But saying what's up to you guys. Good. See you guys in the chat. So the very last one, number 10, and this has happened, I know, to everybody too. Check for before you pay, tears, scratches, stains, rips, all of this stuff on all of the shoes before you buy them. And before you do that, there's good reasons why you need to do that. Number one, you might be able to get 5 to 10% off or more if you show them the whatever was wrong with the shoe. So depending who's working on the register, they might actually hook you up with a better deal because they are scratched up or something. But even if it's like a small mark that you can get out, then that's definitely worth telling them if they're going to give you an extra 5, 10, 15% off. They have been kind of like shisty with me. At least the times that I found something that had something wrong with them, I got only like 5% off. But if you can get 10% or more because something had like a stain or whatever, totally do it. And you can get that out you can get that stain out without messing with the shoe and saying that it's been used or anything like that. Totally do it. The next thing that also helps with that is that it's also going to suck if that shoe doesn't sell and then you have to return it for some reason. if you try to return it and it's messed up too, people have tried to do that where they try to like return items that they've already used before, and the workers know, and they're not going to accept it too. And I know, who did I talk to? I know one one of the Ross workers that I talked to, there was a lady that tried to return like bed sheets or something, and like I was like, come on. The bed sheets, I'm not even gonna tell you what was on this stuff. It was nasty, and it was um obviously been used. Try to return it, they didn't accept it, so that obviously didn't happen. So people try to return stuff, and they might give you a hard time trying to return something even though you got it from them. Um Even though you got it from them and it was messed up. So it's not worth going through that full process. Might as well acknowledge that it is kind of messed up, stains or rips, before you even buy it and try to get that discount. At least you can have that on there. And the last thing important for that number 10 is that you don't want to like notice something is wrong with your product when you start listing it. Like that's what sucks too, is like the middle of taking pictures of that item, and you're like, ah, crap, it's messed up or it's torn or ripped, stained, anything like that, because that's not until way later on. You're already home, you're already trying to get this thing listed, you want to make money off of it. Now that's just way later on. You don't want to fall into that trap either. Always double check for that stuff before you leave the store. uh, don't want to get into that situation. So yeah, that was it for top 10 things to double check before you pay. I just wanted to make sure I get to all 10, despite this dude still coming in and out of the chat. So if he comes back, we're just going to keep blocking him over and over again. Danny Ryder, laugh out loud. Gabriel, sorry. Have Zach says, ever any luck reselling hats or socks from Ross? The stance socks do, just depending on the stance socks. If you can get them for super clearance, like $2.99, then yeah, you can definitely sell those. A lot of the hats though, a lot of the new era hats like will sell well for you on eBay. I used to sell some of them on Amazon. Then they kind of got like a little slower to move, because with fitted hats too, it only fits like a certain person that's looking for that size. Snapbacks is different, it fits anybody, so that helps also when trying to sell. But I did notice a lot of like the new era Star Wars stuff had been coming out recently. Like I saw like a Stormtrooper hat, that wasn't doing too bad. I think it was $7.99 at Ross. It was selling for about $22. But that one is also like you're gonna have to sit and wait a little bit longer for that one to sell. But there's also some pretty good hats out there. And what boxes to use for hats? If they're like the dad hats, like you can just put them into the poly bags. Like nothing's gonna happen to those because the bill is already um already shaped and everything too. It's kind of like a slouch hat. It's not really gonna mess up anything. But if you're looking at the new era hats, you're gonna have to get like a small box, like a 5x7x7, I think, from Uline is what I got from those. Let me see. I know it's nothing to do with sneaker, but I ever got Supreme boxers and socks at Ross. Could that be frequent? Never seen those. And honestly, I think the Supreme thing was just totally rare. The only reason why, at least to me in my end, why I think like that Supreme shirt was there was just because of North Face. Ross has been getting like a lot of like Under Armour, North Face, Adidas, Nike stuff like built up over time. They really didn't even used to get a lot of North Face stuff. It used to just kind of be at Marshalls, and then Ross started getting a lot more of it. To me, I think that's the only reason why Supreme was even in Ross, was because of that collab. Have you ever gotten Ultra Boost at Ross? I saw some videos of people getting Ultra Boost. I have, but they were just a huge size. They were like size 17. They still sold well, but I've only found that huge size. Gabriel, how many Ross stores would you say there are in El Paso? I think there's like 7 or 8. I think at least like 5 or 6 that are somewhat near on the east side. how many Rosses you hit up a day. Yesterday I went to, I think, five that I could somewhat go in like a round and not have to waste a lot of gas. So I went to like 5 of them. And then let's see, Casey Snipe says, yeah, can you go over the 10 now or at the end of the description? Yeah, I'll go through that probably before it ends. Does Ross ever have any coupons? They don't, but you can get the senior discount for 55 and over. If you go on Tuesdays, then they will give you a discount there. But they don't have any coupons or anything like that. So yeah, let me go. Since we're finishing up, we're already here about the hour mark. I wanted to make sure I keep it at like an hour. I know last time, like I said, like hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. Like that is long, super crazy. And I know everybody has other stuff to do too and get back to. And it's always good to go through the tips, kind of learn something from the videos. And then you go right back to hustling and listing and making money. So going through all 10 again. Number 1, always check the laces, make sure they're not torn, make sure there's no thread hanging off from it. You don't want to have to replace laces, and double check too when the person that's ringing you out, make sure that they can get that sensor off kind of cleanly and not rip it through the shoe laces part, because that has happened where it's torn. Number 2, check all the prices of that shoe at the store and all of the other stores. Our example was LeBron 13s, finding it for $79.99, seeing it again for $59.99, and then seeing it again for $39.99 at a totally different Ross store. Always check the same shoe at different stores to make sure the price is the same. You don't want to lose out on a lower price one that you could have bought. Number 3, check the inside tag for the B grade stamps. Make sure it's not all over the place, like on the inside tongue or none of that stuff. Make sure you don't get fooled with buying B grades, and they're not. Don't get fooled by buying B grades when they're full Ross price. Don't go through any of that. You don't want to go through wasting money buying B grades if you didn't even know they were B grades. Let me see. Number 4, check the shoes that are piled up. People pile up the shoes back there. That's mostly like on the racks. You see like 3 pairs in a row. Go through them. Make sure you're not missing out on anything. Number 5, check the sizing. Sometimes the size on the Ross tag, like here, doesn't match the colored one here or the inside tag. Make sure when you're doing your research for the live listings on who you're selling or competing with, that you have the right size shoe before you leave. Number 6, is that where we are? Yeah, number 6, don't get lazy. Check out the very bottom of the clearance rack. We talked about that red strip that says clearance. You might even find shoes for 99 cents. Some of them as low as $4.99. Always happens, even if those big sizes, 16, 17, 18, always double check, buy them if they're super cheap for $1 to $5. Number 7, go through all sections, even skim through the women's and kids sections. You never know. Some people might be hiding stuff, and some people always put stuff back on the racks. At least just skim through it. You never know what you're going to find. Number 8, check the carts on the front side of the register area. Check the, which pretty much they're called putbacks. Eventually, a worker is going to have to go back and put them back on the racks. You might as well check those. Sometimes some people, they just never went back for something that they had an associate hold for them. So you might find something good there. Number 9, check the bottoms. Make sure that price isn't too tough to get off. If they ridden the price all over the bottoms, make sure you can get that off. Don't let that be like a huge hassle for you to waste a bunch of time trying to get that off when all you want to do is make money and list it and go through that. And then number 10, check for any scratches, tears, rips, stains. If you can get the extra 10% off, do it. Also, you don't want to hassle with returns. If people think you already wore it, don't want to deal with any of that stuff. And most importantly, you don't want to run into some type of flaw with the sneaker when you're actually taking the pictures for eBay. So that's all 10. back to the live chat before I go. Any last questions? Let me know before we leave. Ross Finds of the Week is going to happen on Friday. Brand new 10 completely different items. Let me see. Ross doesn't allow associates to resell, but I do it undercover. I get first dibs. I actually work in the stock room. Yeah, in that case, for sure. This crazy thing too is like I've seen and I've even met Ross employees that know of my videos. They know about making money and the side hustle and things like that, but they said that they either don't have the time, they don't want to deal with it. Some people just like, it's cool. I like what you do, but I really wouldn't go through it or do it. So it's totally up to that person. If you can do them, uh, if you can do it, Matthew, behind or do it undercover, then props to you. Then at least you're doing some side hustling out there. And let me see. Man, let me go back up. Man, where am I? Did you sell the King Top Pumas cleats? Yes, I did. I actually sold them on that very video. You guys can see the completed listings for that shoe. Gabriel, more informative than public school. I try. Public school right now, they're going through testing. You don't want to go through any of that. You got to learn how to make money. I wouldn't, you don't have to pass some tests at the very end. I see those poor teachers all over the place trying to get these kids to pass like that dumb test. Gabriel says, I'll watch Friday's vids always. Weekly routine. Appreciate it, Gabe. How often do you personally go to Ross? I try to go at least like 3 to 5 times a week. I try to go. Mikey says, Glenn, you're the man. Just got done with other live on merch. Nice. Mikey, any questions on merch? Let me know. Richard B, tell them Hustler Hacks said you are entitled to 10%. Yeah, let them know Hustler Hacks sent you and you came to go out and get it. And that's why you're here. You're here to make money. And Casey says, one day to all the Rosses or multiple times a week. Multiple times a week. I try to go at least like those 5 to 7 stores. If I can go like those particular stores, like 2 to 5, I mean like 2 days, I'll try to go with those particular ones. If I can go to like a far one, maybe like once a week. So in total, like 3 to 5 days. And Congress Seller says, what time is Ross Finds of the Week? That's going to be on Friday. I try to get it out at like 10 a.m. my time, which is Mountain Standard Time. That's usually when I put out Ross Finds of the Week on Fridays. And Jam says, how did those WWF hats do? The weird thing is, with that WrestleMania hat, is that, all right, I found it at the swap meet for $1. And then it sold. This dude was like back and forth, like, hey, I'll buy it from you. I'm really interested in it. He sends me an offer. I counter offer. He sends me a message. I'm really interested. I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to do this. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, he was super active too. He was even messaging me like during the week, like, I'm going to pay tomorrow. I'm ready to go, blah, blah, blah. And then this dude never paid. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just open this case so I can relist this. I relisted it. And then someone else ended up buying it for, I think 120 is what I finally just agreed on. And that dude paid right away. So that happens. People like to waste time, which, oh well, I know I'm going to sell it anyway down the road. And you should start a training class on this stuff. I'd pay. So appreciate that, Zach. I know maybe down the road it'd be something to do some private coaching and stuff like that. But I just like helping people. And most importantly, I like meeting people like in person, which the most time it's ever happened in a week, which was last week, where 3 random people saw me at the store and said what's up to me. Well, actually, one of them wasn't even in the store. One of them was in traffic, which that one was kind of weird. But it's the most time it's ever happened. But I love meeting people in person, especially the ones that say what's up to me. Totally cool. I like meeting everybody and saying what's up and see what they do, or if they're new reseller or old school reseller or anybody that just wants to say what's up. Totally cool. And let's see. JM says, a nerd done well at Ross. I just found better shoes at Nike outlets. That's happened too. Outlets are like hit and miss too. Mine's been kind of sucking lately. Haven't really found anything that great. And JM says, I've never done. Oh, we were talking about that. And Danny, mainly use OfferUp. It's all local. Started doing swap meets to get to the best money, higher items. What you suggest I sell those at? Totally depends on the item. Let me know. Send me a photo of something like you're kind of like um suspicious with, like, oh, should I sell this for this amount? Maybe I can try to help you out. Anything I can do. And did you buy those Puma shorts with the diabolical symbol? I saw one yesterday. I didn't buy them, but the weird thing is they're actually still there at the Ross that I went to. OfferUp, it's a good idea. I don't have to pay for shipping. Yeah, OfferUp is doing really, really good. A lot of people trust it way more than Craigslist. You ever post the same item on multiple times on 2 different sites? I used to do that with Etsy and like the older jerseys, older NBA stuff. And sometimes it just got too crazy to keep up with them. And one time I couldn't do it to where like someone bought it on Etsy and eBay at the same time. And then that's where I was like, yeah, this is going to get way too tough. So I just kind of stuck with eBay. So Gabriel says, wow, in traffic. I know. El Paso never has traffic. And I was kind of weird too. It was on Montana, like at a stoplight. And then some dude was saying, what's up? And it was kind of weird not being at a store. But that's it. So Ross is good. Always crushed it with Marshalls via FBA. So yeah, both of those. Marshalls too with FBA. I know Reezy does a lot of Marshalls FBA stuff. So do you make more on Ross items or thrift store items? Do you make more? I think you have to have like a solid mixture of both, because even like thrift store stuff recently, I did find, you know what, Danny Ryder would appreciate it. I found a Kevin Johnson jersey, but it was for kids, but still, like, the money's gonna be there. If you notice, completed listings too, I found that Polo Bear. That thing sold, I think I sold it for what, 70, 75 bucks or something. That was a $2 thrift find. And then Ross stuff, which would be like the Supreme t-shirt, sold for 115. So like, it's a mixture of everything. I think you have to have a nice, good mixture. Thrifting items, Ross items, or Burlington, Marshalls, those type of things. So you can always have some inventory, and you can also mix it up with like those swap meet finds. It's just totally like, just so many different things you can find, right, to resell. And also make sure it keeps you going to all of these things, finding new items, and you're not just stuck with like, oh man, I haven't found anything recently. Where else should I go? So now you have like a nice variety of places to go to. Danny, how long you be in Chicago for? I'm gonna be there for the reseller rally. I'm only gonna be there for like a day or two. I think I might get in. The thing's on Saturday. I think I might get in on Friday and then probably just leave on Sunday. But for sure, send me an email, do something. Totally down. And Zach, thanks so much. Richard B, Windows updates got to restart. So there we go. Thanks guys for watching and hanging out with me for this whole hour and 8 minutes. And hopefully you guys like this top 10 Ross sneaker tips to check before you pay. And I will see you guys on Friday. Ross finds of the week. Another live video again next Wednesday. And then on Monday, it's like a little sneaker haul, talking about some stuff that I found. And now it's going to be like a in-store video. So thanks guys. Appreciate it. And like Gabriel says, as always, go out and get it.